Today is the day that I will be shining some light on not just anyone, but a world-renowned author, an award-winning storyteller, and the constructor of so much more than just the boy who lived. Ladies and gentlemen, Joanne Rowling. No, she is not here with me today, but by the end of this, it will be as if you just had tea with her. Before the name of J.K. Rowling became recognized by many, she lived a life worth sharing. Native to Yate, England, she was born on July 31st, 1965, to Peter James and Anne Rowling. 2 years later, they gave birth to Rowling's first fan, Diane. She would often create fantasy stories and share them with her sister. Her mother was often very sick, which complicated Rowling's home life. In 1990, her mother died. At this time, Rowling had just begun her composition of Harry Potter, what would soon be a $15 billion book series. The death affected the first book in every aspect. Rowling's teenage years were thought to be unhappy for her father's lack of presence. Still to this day, Rowling does not speak to her father. J.K. Rowling's hardships in early life impacted more than just her novels, but her own personal future as well. As a child, she attended St. Michael's Primary School. Her headmaster was Alfred Dunn, and he is thought to be her inspiration for the headmaster in Harry Potter, Albus Dumbledore. In 1982, she tried to gain entrance into Oxford University, but was rejected. She graduated with her bachelor's in French and Classics from the University of Exeter. Rowling moved to London and began to work as a bilingual secretary for Amnesty International. Rawlings got married on October 16, 1992, and gave birth to a little girl on July 27, 1993. Her and her husband separated a few months after she gave birth, for it was believed Joanne was being abused by him. Her and her daughter moved to Scotland, which is where her sister lived. Rowling suffered from clinical depression, low self-esteem, and suicidal thoughts. Many of her sufferings impacted and ultimately created the one thing that made Rowling realize her true worth, Harry Potter. In 1990, Rowling constructed the idea of her record-breaking series on a 4-hour delayed train ride to London. She began to write what would be the beginning of a whole new world immediately after she arrived at her destination. She finished the first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, on a manual typewriter. She submitted it for publication to 12 different publishing houses, which were all rejected. In 1997, Bloomsbury Publishing published the book, but only printed 1,000 copies. Months later, the book won multiple awards, and Scholastic Inc. made an offer to publish the book in the U.S. She regrets letting Scholastic Inc. publish the book under the name Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Every year, Rowling published a new book to the series until 2000. It took her 3 years to finish writing the 5th book, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. After the publication of 2 more books, she concluded the series on July 21st, 2007. In October of 1998, the film rights for the Harry Potter series was purchased by Warner Brothers. The first movie was released on November 16, 2001, with huge success. Warner Brothers adhered to all of Rowling's demands and stipulations that the films be shot in England with an all-British cast. Rowling's success did not end with Harry Potter, but only began. On September 27, 2012, she released The Casual Vacancy, which was a novel aimed more towards adults, and it sold over 1 million copies. The novel was made into a television series that aired in 2015 on BBC. In 2013, she released the first book in her crime fiction trilogy, called Cormoran Strike. In 2014, BBC One claimed their plans to adapt the books as a television series. The art of perseverance is displayed best through none other than J.K. Rowling, for she has experienced more heartbreak than most. J.K. Rowling is one tough woman, emotionally and mentally. She raised her daughter for herself after suffering from domestic abuse in a failed marriage. She suffered from depression and suicide. She was so poor that she had to gain help from the government in order to live and provide for herself and her daughter. Her early life was filled with sickness and an estranged father. Harry Potter was rejected for publication 12 times. If she would have given up, there wouldn't be any Harry Potter. Could you imagine a world with no Harry Potter? She had her fair share of struggles and success, for her legacy proves if one is to work hard enough, he or she is bound to make it. She is a true inspiration to all, for she went from being and having absolutely nothing to creating a globally recognized brand worth more than $15 billion. She accomplished so much by using her mind and creativity. J.K. Rowling once said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default."